and sit down.
Good evening, everyone! Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I'm your host, Mr. Main Event himself, the often imitated, never duplicated Superstar Tim Vicious Sane. We're gonna go over Raw this week. Was in Milwaukee, or as Alice Cooper once taught us, Mil-ee-wau-kay. It's an old Wayne's World reference for those who may not understand. Watch a movie, folks. Educate yourselves. Now, before we get into the show, we gotta roll it on back and remind everyone we gotta pay these funny little gimmicks called bills. So we want to remind everyone we are WWE Shop affiliates. So what that means is, if you're click the link in the description tab or scan the QR code on the screen, yes, that one right there, the one I'm pointing to, it'll take you to WWE Shop. That is our link that will take you there, and you make a purchase off of WWE Shop using our link, and well, we here at the Vicious Studios receive a small nominal commission, which in turn helps us make this show better for you guys. And you can buy whatever items you want, doesn't matter how much it is. You could buy the cheapest item on there, or you could buy the most expensive item on there. And folks, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Now, we are about 3 months away from the busiest shopping season of the year. So, if you have discount codes, if you have gift cards that can get you 10, 20, 30, even 50% off your order, you could still use them. And an even better kicker, if you have discount codes that could do that, and even if by some miracle you also have a code or some way to be able to get overnight shipping at no additional cost or anything, you could still even use that. So you could, in theory, make a purchase for, I'm gonna pluck arbitrary numbers out the air here, you could make a purchase for a $500 item, and if you have the right discount codes and you use them, you could get it for a fraction of that price with no shipping or next to no shipping at all while using our link, and in turn still helping us while saving a few dollars for yourself. Just throwing that out there. Speaking of gifts for those as well, you want to help support the show, you can give the gift that keeps on giving by getting some Vicious Rants apparel. I'm gonna grab that shirt right. And folks, I cannot stress this enough, these shirts are oh so comfortable. They are real nice, they are comfortable, and we got tanks much like I'm wearing right now. We have tees, we have women's tees, we have long sleeves, we have toddler tees, we have baby onesies. And folks, I stress this all the time, it's a perfect gift for somebody you love, somebody you hate. Or if you just want to spend a few dollars, buy a shirt, give it to Goodwill, give it to Red Cross, give it to Salvation Army, give it to whatever charity donation drive you wish. Go ahead, give it to them. Give that shirt to them. Give the Vicious Ranch shirt to them. By all means. It'll help somebody else out, and you will still, in turn, help support the show, and I cannot stress that enough. So you're giving 2 gifts for the price of 1 right there. Just think about that for a moment. Excuse me. Now that we're done going over the shilling at the beginning of our show, now we're going to switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. And the big highlights from last week's SmackDown, it started out with John Cena coming out for his very last SmackDown appearance ever, as well as his last appearance in Chicago, and saying that out loud just makes the retirement tour feel real now. And I know we're winding down and we're like down into the last single digit. We're down to the single digits in his retirement tour, but the fact that we're now emphasizing This is his last appearance on this show. This is his last appearance in this city. This is his last appearance in this city. It feels real now. And I will be the first to admit, I was not on the John Cena train. I was not. I was very much, let's go Cena. Cena sucks! I was in the Cena sucks group for the longest time. You don't believe me? Look at some of the archive videos. You could see for yourself. But I never once denied the man's work ethic. I never once denied the man's character. I never once denied the man's heart that he had for the business. Did I not like how he was being forced and presented to us? Yes. That was where I drew the line. Respect the man. Did not like the way the character was being presented, though. That was it. But my God. It just, wow. You know, JBL put it best a couple weeks ago. He said, point blank, nobody else could have taken up the role John Cena did. Going from the attitude and ruthless aggression era type era in wrestling where it was blood, guts, sex, violence, all that stuff, to a PG era. Excuse me. To a PG era. Nobody else could have done it except John. He did it. When people tried to take over, when crowds tried to take over the show, John never let it get to him. John never let it happen. And I give nothing but respect in the world to the man. I'm sure when his last match happens, you're probably going to see me being all mopey, sad, and blubbering like a baby, but we're going to wait until then. We're going to move forward, though, because I could spend the next 30-odd minutes talking about on how Cena pretty much defined being a GOAT. But either way, he's there, talks about easy for me to say, talk right, fucker. Talks about the retirement tour. And on how he's had his ups and his downs, and on how he's done, and on how it's been one hell of a ride, and he's eternally thankful, especially to this lovely Chicago crowd, for giving him the type of ovation that he never thought he would ever hear from them. And folks, you know me, I have said loud and proud, the European crowds are crowds in and of themselves. They're their own separate entity. But as far as U.S. crowds, the three best crowds in the U.S. are my beloved hometown, Philadelphia, by God, Pennsylvania, God's country, Chicago, and Boston. Those are that's what I got to say. If you don't agree with that, say something in the comments and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation. Not argue, but conversate over. And as John's talking about with that, then out comes Sami Zayn. Sami looks at him. You know, John, 10 years ago, you were U.S. champ and I was just getting my feet wet, get barely out of foot in this company, and you gave me a shot at that U.S. title. And that meant the world to me. And fast forward to today, I'm U.S. champ, and now you got one foot out the company. So I want to pay thanks to you. I want to make tribute to you. So from now on, I am going to do the Sami Zayn Open Invitational. And John just looks at him. An open challenge for up-and-comers. I like it. Good on you. And as John's about to leave, whoa, hold on, John. Now, it wouldn't be right for me to do a Sami Zayn Open Invitational without offering you a shot first. So, as the greatest of all time themselves has once said, if you want some, come get some. John looks at him. You want me to challenge you for your U.S. Championship? Somebody get us a referee. Let's get this going. So we get Sami Zayn versus John Cena, which, oh my God, was a pay-per-view quality match. It was just so great. And I absolutely love the fact that Cena is doing these small little things to help pay tribute to other guys he has had legendary matches and feuds with. He did a GTS, Shades of CM Punk. He wound up getting into the corner, hyping himself up like Edge, and then did a spear, did a angle slam and the ankle lock, and just went for an RKO, got countered though, but oh my God. Oh, I love it. I love it. I am hoping sometime soon that at one point we're going to see Cena go and try and do a clothesline from hell. You know? That's me personally though. And match came to an end in a no contest because Brock Lesnar wound up coming out, took out the ref, took out Sami, and then F5 John twice. And then as you see Brock and Gorilla, he says, "Hey John, see you at WrestlePalooza, bitch." And then they make it official, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza, which I don't blame them for putting it on there, because here's the thing. It's going to be the first PLE on ESPN. Yes, I know it's on Netflix International, but in the US, it's on ESPN. And they're looking to stack the frickin' deck. Heaven forbid they're going to make this as close to a WrestleMania type card without it being WrestleFrickin-Mania. You know? That'd be no different than if they made a SmackDown as close to a Triple Mania card without it being Triple Mania. Speaking of AAA, on a side note, folks, this coming week, make sure to tune in with the Main Event Wrestling Network's blog. The BWO, the Blog World Order, is going to be putting out predictions for Worlds Collide. And, well, I can neither confirm nor deny if yours truly may or may not be contributing to said such things, but yours truly may or may not be contributing to such things. Wink, wink. Yeah. Either way, other matches that have happened on SmackDown, other things that happened on SmackDown, Aleister Black beat Damian Priest in a match. Julia beat Michin, defending her Women's U.S. Championship. And then, lo and behold, hell froze over. Excuse me. See, I got so freaked out and hyped up over it, I damn near lost my voice. But Seth came out through the crowd, hyped up. Becky coming out to the ring. She got into the ring, did atypical trash the town. Chicago sucks, the Bulls suck, the Blackhawks suck, the Cubs suck, the White Sox suck. She's not kidding about the Sox though. You know, this town was better when they had Michael Jordan and this guy and that guy and blah 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 type stuff. Okay. Then out came Punk. Punk got in her face, said, "Becky, you need to tread carefully. Because I don't think you realize where you're at. This is my town. These are my people. You don't think I got shooters in Chicago? All I'd have to do is snap of my finger, that security guard give that girl right there, my sister, the okay to climb over this fence, and she would snap you like a damn toothpick. You need to consider yourself lucky with who you are, because unlike your coward of a husband, I won't resort to hurting a woman." And then, I'm paraphrasing a lot of this, mind you. And then Becky goes up, then some back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, Becky, wham, slaps Punk again, goes, walks off. You know, I'm not one to put my hands on a woman, but I know somebody who is. And then, awkward silence. Then we hear, "Let's light it up! AJ Lee has returned!" That's right, folks. First time in 10 years, we have CM Punk and AJ Lee on TV in a WWE ring. Hell has officially frozen over. Yeah. Now, wow. AJ came out, she skipped all around the ring, got in there, and then proceeded to beat the living tar out of Becky. Becky rolled out the ring, and AJ took her Women's Intercontinental title. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I may cough continuously on and off through the show. I apologize in advance. But let's talk about the fallout from that was on Raw. AJ came out wearing the title saying, about 10 years ago, I was your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. And a lot of girls today would refer to me as their wrestling mom. And I just want you to know that I had to step away because I needed to for my own mental health. I had to go. I took care of some other things, stuff I was interested in. I focused on other stuff. I went to go I went and got therapy, which AJ Lee made a therapy chant popular in wrestling. I never thought I'd ever see that. And then she was saying, you know, I was going to sit at home, just let everything be, see my husband. He was fighting with Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, John Cena, and then Seth Rollins. And I was perfectly content seeing him fight there. Then Becky Lynch got involved. And all I could think is, you did not just put your hands on my man. And when she basically said that, all I could think is, oh dear God, we have a pissed off, bipolar Latino woman from the Northeast U.S. mad because somebody put their hands on her husband. Someone is going to die. Yeah. If you know, you know. But either way. Then out came Becky insisting she wanted her championship back. AJ took it from her. She's a thief, this, that, and the other. And then Becky's like, oh, this. You know, I completely forgot I was wearing this thing. You know, I've been wearing it since Friday. Be surprised. You just get used to it after a while. Kind of got a little uncomfortable trying to shower with it and getting dressed. And, well, I'm sure you would know some of the other things, right? And then she said, if you want it, took it off, laid it down, come and get it. Or I can make you a deal. I'll give it to you if you accept a mixed tag match between me and my man against you and your man. Seth came out then and then started getting into AJ's face. Punk creeped out of nowhere, went to go hit Seth with a GTS, got him and Becky, got the hell out of Dodge, and then later on in the show they announced it was made official. So again, it's going to be at WrestlePalooza. They're loading up the deck to make it as close to WrestleMania as possible without it being WrestleMania. So with that said, now that we're done talking all about the SmackDown Rewind and the new matches and 2 new matches added to WrestlePalooza, let's get into this week's show now that we've done it long enough. Raw, Mil-ee-wau-kay. It starts out with main event, Jey Uso coming out through the crowd, and then lo and behold, what do we see? He looks over at the one walkway, and what do we see? His brother, Big Jim, no yeet, come on out with him. And then they talk about on how, you know, you put your hands on my family, you forget, my family run deep. So, you mess with one of us, you're going to wind up getting more than one of us. And Bronson, Bronny, Brony, whatever. We coming for you. And then out came Reed and Breaker. And, excuse me, back and forth between both teams. And then the challenge got made saying, listen, we can keep going back and forth like this. How about this? You two against us two at WrestlePalooza. Because I hate to break it to y'all, you guys may call yourselves part of the Visionary, but y'all are the twos, and we the ones. So then out came LA Knight out of nowhere, did a sneak attack, wound up, and there was a skirmish there, which wound up getting made into a one-on-one match with LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, which we'll get into in a little bit. But first things first, let's get into the first match of the night. Uncle Allen AJ Styles going against El Grande Americano, the greatest luchador to hail from the Gulf of America. El Grande Americano numero uno. Which, might I add, that El Grande Americano shirt is oh so fabulous, which you can purchase at our WWE shop affiliate link down below in the comments or on the QR code, or scanning the QR code on screen. Moving forward though, before the match happened, when the show was on commercial, AJ cut a promo saying on how, basically cutting like almost, some people are saying it's a conspiracy type promo, saying on how for the first time ever, he's got no one to watch him. Gallows and Anderson aren't here. Chin's working Fridays. He's got no one. People were online saying, oh, he's throwing pot shots at Triple H. Oh, he's throwing a shot at Paul Heyman. He's saying it about this guy or that guy and that guy, blah, 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 blah. I'm just looking at it like, bro, nah. I guarantee this is going to lead to something about someone coming to help him, saying, hey, you need help, homie? I got your back. So as far as this match goes, Styles, he winds up doing a sliding drop kick, takes out El Grande before the bell rings, beats him, literally drags him all around the ring, beating him up. And then when they finally get into the ring, the bell rings. And El Grande, he winds up leading into the break though, thanks to Dos Grande, who showed up out of nowhere. No idea where he came from though. And Dos Grande, he was ringside throughout the entire match. It was really good solid match post break. The first part up into the break felt more kind of like a feeling out, kind of like a okay, who's gonna assert dominance type feel. But post break had a nice feel to it. I really dug it. And match came to an end where Dos Grande went to go and try and run interference, but Dragon Lee came out of nowhere, took him out, which, again, much like I said, played out just like a, yo, homie, I got your back, dude. And then El Grande and AJ, they went back and forth in a really good technical back and forth transitions, trying to go and see who can get a pin, until AJ was finally able to, boom, hit a Styles Clash for a 1, 2, 3. That was it. Next up, we got Lyra Valkyria going against Raquel Rodriguez. Whew. And Raquel powering over Lyra at the start and into the break. Lyra fought with a really good comeback, working post-break, but Raquel was working her back, something fierce, which wound up leading to how she lost. She was building a comeback, went to go climb to the top rope, and then it was just, her back gave out, which gave Raquel an opportunity to capitalize. She got her by the throat, hit her with a Tejana bomb, and then, yeah. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Next up, we got Penta VS going against Rusev with, I don't know about anyone else, but, well, yeah. No, this is the first time ever. Because I do not recall them ever having a Penta versus Miro match in AEW. So I believe this is a first, folks. But either way, this match came to be because Penta was talking to Pierce in the back, insisting he wanted a shot at Dom's IC title. Rusev then interjected saying, listen, I beat Sheamus in that Donnybrook. You've seen how vicious and on how brutal and on how savage I can be. I want a shot at the IC title. They both got in each other's face, and then it was... And then Pierce, you know what? Why don't we have you two go against each other tonight? After that, I'll talk. We could talk about who can get a shot at what title. Fine. So, then we get to this match. Really good, solid, hard-hitting action. Just wow. And, man, this was the kind of Rusev I wish we had when he first debuted. Not the Bulgarian brute who was just completely... And Lana was saying she talked to Putin about this and that and all the other. And I get it. You know, you can make the arguments about it was different times, different creative and all that stuff. It's just... And yet, it's not that it aged bad. It's just... I'm cool with political storylines in wrestling, even though it's cheap heat, because it's all on how you carry and on how you use it. Look at El Grande, hailing from the Gulf of America. You're telling me he's not supposed to piss people off saying that. You know? But, I'm trying to think the right way to say this. I'm cool with the shit to piss people. I'm cool with pissing them off, because maybe it's because of the fact that I was a heel, but I'm not afraid of heat. I'm not afraid of heat. I'm not afraid of pissing people off. If that means, if making the entire audience boo me because I did something that they don't like, and that makes the next town I'm supposed to work at sell out, oh, fine, I'm good with 20 to 30 people on Twitter complaining about it. You know? But either way, this is the kind of Rusev I wish we had before. You know? That's the point I'm getting at. I went really long on that. I'm sorry. That's an old man yelling at the clouds type ramble. You know? Either way, really good match. I dug it. It came to an end when the New Day came out to try and go and run interference, which, much to my surprise, Xavier Woods came out actually wearing a normal size hat this time around, as opposed to wearing one super big or one super little that was like stuck on the side of his head. You know? But they tried to run interference. Penta stopped them. And then then he went to go up to the top of the rope, and just as he jumped off, Rusev, boom, caught him with a Mashka kick for the 1, 2, 3. So, yeah. Next up, we have Nikki Bella in a match. But we are reprieved because, it's against Asuka. Yes. And this came to be because Nikki was talking to Io. Asuka stepped in. You don't need to talk to Io. No. And then proceeded to go. And then there was some back and forth squabbling. And then it made into this match. Some good solid back and forth feeling out at the start with Asuka leading into the commercial break. And Asuka, she was leading the pace post break. But it's not to say that she was leading with the action. Nikki was showing that she could move. It's very much so the comments kind of like what Wade was saying on the pre-show at Clash. Listen, and yeah, she's from an old era. She wants to show that she can hang. And do I think she can? Probably. But let's face facts. It's like... I'm trying to think the right way to put this. Would the big boss man gimmick fit and mesh perfectly into today's era? No. That's like same thing with Nikki Bella. She's from the Divas era. Unfortunately, the time of the Divas has long been dead, and now instead of Divas, we have women's wrestlers. So, yeah. Anyways, the match came to an end when Asuka wound up getting the Asuka lock in. Nikki tapped out. So after the match, there was a backstage stare down with Nikki and Rhea against Asuka and Kairi, which is going to lead to a women's tag match. I believe it's next week. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's the longest I went so far without a cough on this show. So now we come to main event of the night. It's the megastar whose name everybody's saying it is L.A. Knight. Yeah, going up against Big Bronson Reed. And really good back and forth with Reed starting to lead with Knight closing in on the lead right up into the commercial break. After that, it was really good pace and flow. Both guys were going all out on it. Nice action. All in all, I gotta say, this was actually a really good episode of Raw. And this match was a good match. I really dug it. And there was a lot of decent storytelling and story building up into coming up on future episodes as well as WrestlePalooza. Because Reed, he got the win doing the Spicoli driver, the Death Valley driver. And I can't shake that. I'm sorry. I always will call the Death Valley driver a Spicoli driver because that's what a lot of guys after Louis Spicoli passed, they called it that. Either way, though, he got the win doing a Spicoli driver, and then after that, there was a post-match beatdown with Reed and Breaker taking out Knight. Jim Uso came out to go and even things up, and then they proceeded to go and beat on him. Jay came out to go and even things up. He had the advantage for a minute until the numbers were too much for him, and then Knight had a chair, started cracking them, and then all three guys cleared and owned the ring, but not without fallout from it. Because before they wound up clearing the ring, they wound up at one point Reed threw Knight into the corner where Jay was. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm sorry. We cool, man? We cool? Alright, we're cool. I'm moving now. And as Knight moved, that's when Reed, boom, did a big splash to Jay in the corner. And then the action, and then the ring got cleared. Knight, he went over, helped up Jim. It's like, alright, thanks, man. Good. We're cool, man. Alright, thanks. And then next thing you know, you see Jay get up and then boom, take him down. And then on commentary, they hit the nail on the head. Jay Uso was acting very Roman Reigns-like, which I am all for that because if we go into our Wayback Machines, think about it. When right before Jay said he was out of the bloodline that night on SmackDown, Roman said to Jay, point blank, listen, it was my job to get us to the promised land. It's your job to keep us there. So, all that's telling me is that Jay, he sees himself looking to go and be, whether he is doing it consciously or subconsciously or not, he's shaping himself up to be the new tribal chief. That's it, point blank. That's how I see it though. Either way, that is it for this week's show, folks. So please, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the episodes when you can. If you're listening to this on audio, share with your friends, follow us on there. We are trying to build up the audio program. Look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious, as well as any other social media. Tim Vicious, 99% chance it's me. Thank you to contributors show LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Thank you. Also, don't forget to follow these cool ass cats on the Twitter. What? DSV_RV, main event _net, the main event wrestling network Twitter account, Sergeant Curry Pants, 3 Count Thursday, as well as D Dryer 1986. And folks, much like I always tell you, if you love me, that's great. But if you hate me, well,
shut up and sit down.
Fuck it.